Good afternoon, or good evening, I guess it is. Welcome to Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Chris Lee, joined by Jay Greeson. We'll talk about Georgia's win over Ole Miss in just a minute. That one just wrapped up. And also, we'll hit a little bit on, let's see, what's on the agenda here. Florida, Mississippi State, which is fourth quarter. So that one may be wrapping up about the time we're done. May still be going. But anyway, before we talk about Georgia and a huge win over Ole Miss and a really exciting and interesting game, reminder, we're brought to you by GameTime SIDEKICKS, officially licensed stainless steel drinkware, all SEC schools, 350 other universities, stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, and shaker cups. SE16 gets you 20% off your entire order. Love their stuff. You will too. We're also presented by the HOF app. Smart bettors rely on data. HOF hands you powerful analytics at your fingertips to tilt the odds in your favor, improve your chances of winning using historical data, matchup grades, trends, and player performance insights. HOF was created by Ivy League sports geeks to let everyday fans bet smarter. For a limited time only, our listeners not only get a 7-day free trial, they also get 50% off their first month using code SE16 at checkout. Just download the HOF app on iOS or Android, enter code SE16, and you're all set. Jay Greeson, Georgia and Ole Miss has just finished. I think that was a tremendous ball game. Second half, Georgia, man, they come at you, and you've got to hang on for dear life. Ole Miss couldn't quite manage that today. Really impressive performance, at least on the offensive side, for Gunnar Stockton and the Bulldogs.
The micro is, yes, Gunnar Stockton played tremendous. The macro is how relentless Georgia is. I mean, I said this I think it was with Brian earlier this week. I don't know if it was with you or in a conversation. One of my Georgia buddies texted me, "Hey, what time's kickoff?" And I sent back, Ole Miss kicks off at 3:30, which means Georgia will kick off at 4:15. But the ability to adjust, and they have adjusted in the past defensively, but this time they adjusted offensively. And look, Gunnar Stockton is in complete command, complete control, has done things beyond the spectrum that a lot of us thought was within his skill set, and he's exceeded that. I mean, we talked about the three quarterbacks inheriting Cadillacs at the beginning of the season. The growth of Gunnar Stockton, the emergence of Ty Simpson. I mean, we may have had him in the wrong order.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd go there yet, but Gunnar Stockton has certainly come up big when it matters. I'm trying to check the stat broadcast and see if we've got second half stats, because I know at one point Stockton hit his first 11 throws in the second half.
Yes.
I'm trying to see a breakdown between what it actually was at the end. Like, he's 26 of 31, 289, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Again, running the ball effectively was not a thing we had on the bingo card for Gunnar Stockton. He did that again today. It's not the yards, it's when he gets them. He's just so good at picking up yards on third down or scoring. I just said I wouldn't go that far yet, but I mean, he puts up another one or two like this, and maybe you're not far off, Jay.
Well, and I left a name out of that, and I wasn't saying he's been better than Ty Simpson. Right. I'm talking about, we all talked. It felt like every show we had, we talked about Arch Manning, but these two guys have superseded expectation. And no, what Gunnar Stockton has done is, and his growth, and you're right, his ability to run the football and his ability to be willing to run the football is creates a dimension in a Georgia offense. Hey, man, there were a whole lot of portal conversations in the offseason, and it was highlighted by Nico going from Tennessee to UCLA. Well, in a undercurrent of a shoulder shrug, there weren't a whole lot of people who were upset that Carson Beck left. and we're now seeing why. And I'm not talking about the immediate reaction of Miami and Carson Beck's 4-interception game last night against Louisville. And I still think Miami's in a fine position to make the playoff. I'm talking about the growth and the ability of Gunnar Stockton to be that quarterback you want on Saturday to make plays for your team to win a football game.
Yeah, and this we had a hard time knowing what's Georgia going to be, right? I think we've all worried at times, or wondered at times, maybe not worried. Georgia fans may have worried, but the ability of this team to score a lot of points after that was kind of a question earlier, and it's like looking like an old Georgia stat sheet that's typical of the Kirby Smart era. They spread out the carries. Bowens had 10 for 61 today. Frazier had 17 for 72. We mentioned Stockton. You had 3 guys catch 4 balls or more, and then another 4 guys catch 2 each. It just feels like they found a lot of balance and a lot of weapons. We knew Georgia was young, and we knew Georgia had talent. We didn't know who was going to step to the front, and right now the answer is a lot of their offensive players are stepping to the forefront here.
They are, and it's a team that, boy, oh boy, I think so much back to our conversations in the offseason about the things, the bold predictions and the overstatements and all the various things that I said that were both right and asinine. And one of them was it really felt like Kirby Smart really liked this team. And I think he really liked this team because of its diversity in terms of a number of guys who can make plays. And I mean, look, this is not the Georgia defense of the past. This is not 7 first-round guys in the next draft cycle as much as maybe 7 first-round guys in the 2027 draft cycle. But offensively, they got a slew of dudes who you got to figure out ways to cover. And Gunnar Stockton's making it work. And look, it feels like every Saturday in this league is a borderline, I'm not going to say an elimination game, but it's a play-in to the next elimination game, right?
Yeah.
Only.
That's a great way to put it. The other thing I mentioned too, this does feel a little vintage Georgia, not the defensive part, but the offense. They just wore Ole Miss down late. I mean, Ole Miss had the lead well into the second half, and then you saw hands on hips and stuff like that. It was just Georgia, and you've seen it a few games now. Like they wore Tennessee down late with the running game. They did it today to some degree. I think they did it to Auburn. Like that is kind of becoming their MO, is just get late into games and we'll beat you down with a physical rushing attack and our depth. And it is really starting to pop for them.
Well, it's starting to pop, and it is, look, Georgia being a beyond talented, because Kirby's going to recruit like Kirby does. But they're now starting to believe in what they do and believe that no molehill is ever a mountain. So every first half stumble becomes, okay, this is the next game. This is the next hurdle we've got to clear. And that's a testament to the mental toughness. And look, man, the takeaway early on the first half of this glorious SEC Saturday is, for all the conversation about NIL and all the conversation about how much we're paying players and all of that, there is no way to overvalue a head coach who knows what the bleep he's doing. Because look, Clark Lee walked Brian Kelly up and down the field today. Lane Kiffin is a very good head coach, but Kirby is Merlin. I mean,
Yeah.
he's A1 right now. He is who he is. So you best not. Hey, if you go, hey, my boy Omar in The Wire said it best. If you're gonna come at the king, you best not miss. Which means you can't punt, you can't flinch. You've got to score on every possession. Because if you're gonna come at the king, you best not miss.
Yeah, I did undersell Georgia's defense a little bit. It has really been good at defending the run. Today it was really good. Slow down Kejuan Lacey, made Ole Miss kind of one-dimensional, 24 carries for 88 yards. I mean, they did score 4 on the ground, but a lot of that rushing yard just came from Trinidad Chambliss. You know, I didn't see the whole thing, but I presume a lot of those were on scrambles. So they kind of shut down the planned rushing game is the way I'd put it. But let's talk Ole Miss for a minute. I don't think nothing to hang your hat about if you're, or to be ashamed of if you're Ole Miss. I guess the defense was kind of a question. It leaves today as even more of a question. But Trinidad Chambliss kind of kept them in this game, and they're up at halftime. They get 14 in the third quarter, and then the wheels just kind of came off in the fourth quarter when they got beat 17-0.
Well, look, man, Georgia took every punch. I mean, and we can talk about Ole Miss, and I appreciate that. And I mean, Ole Miss defensively is not what they were last year, and Lane Kiffin's figuring out ways, because Lane Kiffin's good at this. He's figuring out ways to try to cover his holes and his deficiencies. And I'm puzzled if Trinidad's Chambliss is what we're seeing. How the heck was he not the week 1 starter? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was super high on Austin Simmons too, but it took a turned ankle for Ole Miss to be this good.
Yeah, I think the answer there is Austin Simmons had been promised that job for a while. He was a kid who finished high school 2 years early. I think he's already graduated with an undergraduate degree from Ole Miss, waited his turn, did the Ty Simpson route, and then this happened. He lost a job because of injury. So I think Ole Miss really wanted to play him, but Chambliss just forced the issue. And like when you are in a chase for the playoff like they are, you kind of got to go with a hot hand. So that was a tough spot for Lane Kiffin, but it's worked out well. And hey, how about that kid? I mean, he was playing Division II a year ago, and now he's taking a team wire to wire with Georgia.
No doubt. And making the most of every opportunity. And he's a top 5 quarterback in the best professional AAA league in the country. So, I mean, look, man, there's nothing really negative to say about Ole Miss. They played their helmets off. It just, Georgia was tougher down the stretch, which they've proved to be against everybody. They just started too slowly against Alabama. I mean, and Alabama wouldn't let them fight all the way back. These other teams, Georgia's imposing its will and strong-arming teams in the second half. I mean, Chris, you're a stat cruncher. I'm willing to bet every metric you want to delve into shows that Georgia's the best second half team in America.
They've got to be. I mean, what is it? They've trailed their last 9 SEC games at half, and they've won more of them than they've lost.
Well, look, man, whether that's old school pre-analytics, guys walking into the locker room and just giving motivational speeches, or that's guys diagramming stuff up and figuring stuff out, and I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. It is a testament to Georgia staff. And I'll say this, man, I've been brutal on Mike Bobo. The last 3 second halves, he has gone in the locker room.
He's been a hero. Absolutely.
And figured out things where his offense has clicked. So Look, man, I'm going to say bombastic things, but when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And Mike Bobo has done a heck of a job in the second half of the last handful of games.
Yeah, I still think of that play call to Humphreys to win the Tennessee game, and then the two. And again, they were using the run to really knock Tennessee out late in the game. Same thing here again today. Just sometimes you got to wait for it to come your way, and the strategy plays out over time. But it feels like that's what's Georgia's game. I want to ask you a question, Jay. Here's Georgia's remaining schedule, and then we'll do the same thing for Ole Miss. Okay, Georgia's got a bye week. Then here's how the schedule goes: Florida in Jacksonville, Mississippi State in Starkville, Texas in Athens, Charlotte in Athens, Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Who are you most worried about Georgia beating?
Tech in Atlanta.
I think that might be the right call. Tech is now, what, 7-0 after today?
7-0 for the first time since 1966.
Yeah. Give Brent Key his flowers, man. That guy is a super coach. Gotten a lot out of that team and took over, I believe he was a midseason takeover for maybe Jeff Collins a couple years back.
And has a quarterback that everybody, including Georgia, would trade for, with the exception of Alabama. Because Haynes King is playing his chin strap off.
We'll talk Mississippi State here in a bit. State has just scored a touchdown as we're speaking. Ooh, it is now 20.
That sounds good to me, because I got State in the points.
Okay, well, you're feeling good. It's 23-20, and State will presumably kick an extra point. Now, there's only 2:48 left. But before we get to that, I'm going to ask you the same question on Ole Miss. And by the way, we've got people in here wanting to talk a couple of things. I know we got a couple of Andy fans in here. We had that discussion. I was not part of it earlier in the day because I was actually at that game. So we're just going to do a couple of games in this one. No, our recap tonight, we will hit the night games, and then we'll kind of go back on the earlier games. So we will hit those, and also the Tony Vitello story in baseball, a pretty big developing one, is it looks like he may be taking the Giants managerial job. So we'll probably talk about this weekend, just not on our football stuff. By the way, this Mississippi State touchdown getting looked at, and I'm not sure that's going to stand because it sure looked like his toe hit the edge of the end zone. So anyway, Ole Miss schedule ahead. Look, I think Ole Miss, if it got one of these next two, it had to feel terrific about its chances. And I think the tougher one was the one it played today. Next up for the Rebels at Oklahoma, followed by South Carolina at home, the Citadel at home, Florida at home, a bye week in Mississippi State and Starkville. I still think the Rebels are not losing more than one more game.
I agree with that. Now, the uncertainty of the scrambled egg bowl notwithstanding, but look, this will be a testament to Lane Kiffin's growth way more than the puff piece Ryan McGee did on ESPN's 360 about the many lives of Lane Kiffin. If he can galvanize his team to be ready after this disappointing loss that they led for, 46 minutes, 48 minutes in Athens, in a position to firmly grab a spot in the top three and a dunk playoff spot, if they can redirect that negativity and that disappointment and play well against Oklahoma, then that will show me more growth about Lane Kiffin as a head coach than anything I've seen in all the puff pieces ESPN wants to do about him. So,
yeah,
I mean, look, Lane Kiffin's a likable guy, and everybody wants the next Spurrier. I mean, every college is looking, and every college fan base is looking for the next Saban. We in the media and we in the folks who love college football are looking for the next Spurrier because he makes us laugh and he makes the midweek entertaining almost as much as he makes Saturdays entertaining. But this is a huge job right now for Lane Kiffin beyond just being Lane Kiffin, the quarterback whisperer and the offensive guru. Can Ole Miss answer against an Oklahoma team that is about to exploit a whole lot of things he's not good at, his team's not good at? Protecting the quarterback, dealing with defensive havoc. So I agree with you. If Ole Miss only loses one more, they're in. But they best not make certain they're not on a 2-game losing streak 8 days from now.
By the way, Mississippi State is looking at a 4th and goal from somewhere inside the 10. That did get overturned, and the next pass was incomplete. So while we're watching, actually, they're going to run the play right now. So let's see what happens. It's 23-14 Florida. So it's still a lot to ask for State to come back and win this one. And now that pass falls incomplete. So Florida, barring something crazy, State does have 3 timeouts left.
How much time?
Oh, wait, did they throw a flag?
I don't know.
Because it says 1st and goal now. 2nd and goal. Okay, there must have been a penalty in there. Anyway, I'll let you keep an eye on that. Reminder, we are brought to you by the Yearly Company, a Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition and designed for meaning. Each piece is handicrafted from solid 14-karat gold and natural gemstones, made to measure for a perfect fit, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Because every Yearly Company bangle is custom sized, knowing your size is the most important first step before ordering. That is where the sizing kit comes in. It's the perfect place to start for husbands who want to have sizes ready now. So as we get closer to the holidays, your shopping is effortless. SE16 Kit, KIT, will take 100% off the sizing kit at checkout. Go to Yearly Company, get your holiday shopping done early, and thank us later. We're also brought to you by ROKFORM. Love their phone cases. Man, I use theirs every day, and I'm so glad I've got it. Also love the vent clip for the car. It is the world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, and rock-lock secure mounting. September and October are the busiest months of the year with the iPhone release. SEC 25 gets you 25% off your entire order at rockform.com. We are also presented by HOVI Dry Goods, your new favorite hat. You can see mine that I'm wearing. My Titans are terrible. My Titans hats are awesome, and I get those from HOVI. Look no further than HOVI hats for high-quality headwear with a great fit and unique designs. Bad Beat, BADBEAT, gets you 15% off your entire order at HOVIDryGoods.com. Okay, Jay, as I was doing the read, Mississippi State has scored. Did not see how that happened. Has now kicked the extra point, and the Gators lead 23-21 with 2:32 left in the fourth quarter. Both teams have all their timeouts remaining.
All right, what time are we doing the Billy Napier gets fired press conference tomorrow?
Are you assuming win or loss, or assuming that it does not matter?
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
I mean, I'm asking because my cell phone's dead, and I just need to make certain my bosses. I just want to be ready because I got church and I got brunch, and then I just want to make certain whatever time you guys need me, I'm.
Oh, those things always happen when you're in church. You know the rule.
Well, and West May, yes, I do think Billy Napier gets fired even if they win because they've looked like ass. And look, and that's the same thing. Even as disappointing as the last month has been for Auburn football, there is the perception of fan bases. And I know we got a whole bunch of Missouri fans in here, and I'm going to preface this to make certain you know multiple things. One, I'm an Auburn graduate. Two, Missouri has a better football team than Auburn does. Three, the Auburn fan base believes, like the Florida fan base believes, they should be better and should be much better than Missouri, like Florida believes they should be much better than Mississippi State. There is a reason that who was it? Zook and Mississippi State got 2 Florida coaches with wins, and they were fired the next day. It was Zook and maybe
Muschamp?
No, I don't think it was Muschamp. It was one of the other ones. May have been Brian Edwards would know, because by God, Brian Edwards would assuredly know, because he's a Florida grad. But I'm not saying that is how the perspective should be in the modern culture. That is the perspective of the fan base. So, look, and Auburn's a little different than Florida. Auburn is starving for a win. Florida is starving for change. So, no, I fully expect Blake to text us, okay, what time can everybody reconvene for Billy Napier for Florida? Look, I'm not calling it because I don't have any sources in Gainesville whatsoever. If I had to bet a mortgage payment, Billy Napier gets fired in the next 24 hours.
Well, it was reported, I don't remember who had it, that the buyout money had been raised a week or 2 ago, that it was there as soon as Scott Strickland wanted to make a change. Am I correct on that? I believe that's how I heard it.
I saw the same thing. I saw the same report.
All right. By the way, meanwhile, okay, I think when we started this, I know this is an SEC show, but we are keeping an eye on other games around the country. Thank you, Quadbox. Texas Tech, I think, was down 19-9, has taken the lead just a couple of minutes ago now. Sam Levin and Arizona driving in a game that could have a little bit of potential playoff impact if Arizona State were to pull the upset here. So we'll keep an eye on that one too. We're in timeout in Gainesville, and I'm thinking this is going to last a while because I don't know if one of the timeouts was just used, but both teams have all theirs remaining. And Wes is right. It was 19-7 when we came on the air, Arizona State's favor. So,
all right, my man. What else we got? Because I got to finish dinner. I got spices in the air, and
yeah, I mean we're just waiting on Florida, Mississippi State to end, and they're in a timeout.
All right. All right. Side tangent. We got to chip the ball. We have got to get to a place that TV has got enough commercials through all of the various stanzas of the game that somebody can just call a timeout. We're not calling timeout to get these kids a breath. We're calling timeout to stop the clock. So we need to incorporate like a 15-second timeout. So we can then get back to play and go right back into it. All right. And as we're waiting on timeouts and the end of the score, you're a baseball guy. Wes May just asked Tony Vitello thoughts.
My expectation is he'll end up in San Francisco. It's not a done deal. I've talked to multiple people who've either spoken to him today or have industry contacts. It's not a done deal, but I think the way that it was phrased was that they're, I don't know if nearing the finish line was I think it was expected to be done in 48 to 72 hours, according to Jeff Passan. So I'd heard a while back that Buster Posey really kind of liked his energy and had an eye on him since that job became vacant. And my guess is I don't know if they'd promote Elander, they might. But yeah.
Well, I just want to go ahead and Wes, if you're curious, I want to throw my hat into the ring. It would be a visor, actually. My my coach pitch record is like I went back and looked. I'm 120-7 in coach pitch. So I think I'm qualified. So if Vitello does go to San Francisco, I really want to be seriously considered for the Tennessee job.
Oh, D.A. Lagway was sacked. I don't know what he's doing there. That was a 3rd and 1, and they rolled him out to the right, and he had no chance. Mississippi State may win this thing.
Well,
those helmets, what do they do? Florida has great helmets, and they're wearing something that looks like a cross between Houston and Indiana today.
Well, HOVI did not have any say on their helmets. But one, I made a great joke about my coach pitch record, and you went directly.
Sorry, I was out, buddy. My eyes were on the screen.
Lagway getting sacked. And now you went straight into a helmet tangent.
Hey, you know better than to waste those when I'm locked in on something else. Come on, man. That one's on you.
Look, you're just adding to my bona fide went balls in prediction of they're going to fire Napier tomorrow.
Yeah, well, you may end up being right in this.
Oh, hey,
if you blow this one,
if they lose this one, I go from plus 320 on FanDuel to minus 190.
Yeah. Oh, Arizona State has just. Oh, they're on the 1. 2nd and goal. Man, we got some good finishes in front of us. By the way, I was looking something up on the plays. Vanderbilt ran 67 plays today. LSU ran 49. So that's close to your average number of plays in an NFL game, right? They're in the mid-50s, maybe 60. That game, I think, was easily 3.5 hours.
Well, I'll tell you
one thing. Why can the NFL get in and get out in 3 hours and college football cannot?
Well, Vandy did a great job of being aggressive while being patient.
Speaking of aggressive.
And what I mean by that is their play calling was aggressive in everything they wanted to do, but every time they snapped the football was within the last 7 seconds. And that's because the other side had better athletes.
Tim Beck is a special offensive coordinator.
No, he's great.
Okay.
Vandy's staff is tremendous.
Yeah. Okay. We've got a 1st down approaching midfield. Shapen ran on a design draw. The middle of the field opened up. He got maybe 12 or 15 yards, then completed a pass. I'm sorry. It's 2nd and 9. That was the front half of the chains I was looking at there. Anyway, nearing midfield, they're starting to show shots of the kicker. There's another. Oh, it's incomplete. So they'll have 3rd and 9 here. Arizona State has just scored with 34 seconds to retake the lead on Texas Tech. Kentucky and Texas is underway. It's looking like an offensive pillow fight so far. Screen pass wide open. 1st down. They're putting the field goal line on the 38. So State's kicker apparently has got some range. Again, they're playing on grass down there in Gainesville.
How many teams in the league play on turf, Chris?
A lot of them, don't they?
No.
Vanderbilt does. Kentucky does. Maybe you're right. Missouri does.
Okay. Maybe A&M does. I don't know. But
now they're squarely in field goal range. I think they've just moved the ball inside the 30. They've got some more downs to play with because that's a 1st down.
Okay. I will I'll ask you again, what time do we need to be planning our Who's Next at Florida live show tomorrow?
You know, it may be tonight at this rate.
Well, we may be doing it. We may be doing it with a handful of games still in action, but
I like Billy Napier. I'm sorry it's not going well, but man, this would just be a fitting ending if Mississippi State comes down and wins. By the way, that would also really heat up the distractions in Oxford, I would think, with Lane Kiffin. I'm sure he would be linked to that job. Whether he would take it or not, I don't know. But you know his name is going to come up.
Well, 100% yes, his name's going to come up. You know who his wife / ex-wife / current significant other is, right? Former Florida quarterback great John Reeves' daughter.
Ah, that's right. Does that help or hurt?
I don't know. I mean, it's like saying John Gruden's wife was a cheerleader at one time in Knoxville. Dear Lord, if I heard that story one more time, I'd kick my dog.
Tennessee and Alabama underway in Tuscaloosa.
All
right. Here we go in Gainesville. Quarterback draw, nothing there. So I guess they're just going to keep the ball on that hash mark for the kicker and let him have a go. State has burned its last time out, which I really don't like that in that spot. I like to have one just in case. So now that takes run out of it. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's intercepted. He threw it right to a defensive lineman. Oh, my goodness. Florida dropped the D lineman back in coverage. Blake Shapen didn't see him. And there's your ball game. That's why I don't like, I don't know. You have a timeout there, you don't have to throw it. You're already in field goal range. That was amazing. Amazing
is not the word I would use.
Well, yeah, there are others, but Billy Napier now getting hugs from his players. Oh my goodness!
A terrible play call.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's clock management.
No. I mean, but you're throwing a middle screen that a defensive lineman can intercept.
Well, here's my point. You knew that they were going to pass because you had no timeouts left.
Then throw it to the sideline.
Well, he was throwing in that direction, but he didn't see the underneath defender.
It can't be too far to the sideline if he's throwing a pass that the defensive lineman can intercept.
Yeah. He just didn't see the guy. They dropped it. They dropped a lineman back in coverage. And
No. Let's not blame the kid. Let's blame the dude. I mean, whoever's calling this play, whoever's managing this moment.
Yeah.
I mean, no. He may not have seen the play, the kid, the play, the coverage, whatever else. Those happen. That's an everyday occurrence. No, that's coaching malfeasance.
Yeah.
And as much
and to make it worse, they were running a slant over the middle.
There you go. I'm sorry.
I mean, what in the world?
Coaching malfeasance. It is
Ah.
something every fan should be looking at, regardless of whether your team's winning or losing. Coaching malfeasance.
Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time because the angle when they showed it from the backside, he was behind his receiver, so I thought he was throwing to the sideline. It was even worse than I thought. He was throwing a slant over the middle with no timeouts and 29 seconds left.
Well, brother, I'll see you in a few hours.
Yeah, we'll be back to recap everybody tonight. We'll hit the night games. Tennessee is punted to Alabama, so we'll talk about that one. We will unwrap playoff implications for everybody and anything else that you want to see or hear. We'll catch you tonight with all that again. We'll go back and rewind all the games again, including the ones that we didn't talk about in this one from this morning. For Jay Greeson, I'm Chris Lee. You have been watching Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.